I'm Danielle Warren, and today I'll be talking about why you should care about microbiology and the benefits that we gain from it. Microbiology is a versatile field of laboratory science that extends itself outside of the usual medical aspects. You can often find it involved in agricultural science, food industry, environmental science, and other places that we'll discuss later in another part of the presentation. As such, we should learn to be more aware of the parts that microbiology plays in our daily lives and continue to support the finance and research that goes into its applications. We'll be going over what a microbe is, the study of microbiology, its history, and its applications. Today, we live in a world where 7 billion plus people are alive, and yet we're not all getting what we need to survive. A way that we can combat this is through biotechnology, an application of microbiology. Genetic modification occurs to help us get a desired need that we want out of any kind of organism like a plant or an animal. However, people are opposed to this because they consider it to be unnatural or even harmful to the human body when ingested. However, this is due to misinformation and a lack of information. GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, are simply created with desired traits. Things like plants and animals that we have domesticated are a result of us simply picking out traits that we liked and slowly bringing them up until they were predominant. Most GMOs today are created to increase the yield and durability of crops, which in turn benefits the producers and meets the demands of consumers, while also providing an alternative method of sustaining the population. In order to understand microbiology, we first need to know what we're studying. In the Microbiology Society's article, Microbes in the Human Body, thousands if not millions of microbes are living in the human body alone. Most of these microbes are here to help defend us from illness and disease, which are usually caused by the bad microbes. These are known as normal body flora. Microbes aren't just found in the human body, however. You can also find them in food. Without microbes, you wouldn't have things like yogurt or alcohol. But life wouldn't be life without microbes to help us out. According to Gilbert, in Life in a World Without Microbes, without these tiny little organisms, we would have a huge thing of organic waste, which is not good because there's nothing to break them down. Therefore, there's a stagnation in our oceans and soils, and humans would have to make up for the organic release of things like carbon and nitrogen. This would be considered a huge undertaking because of the amount of microbes that are already doing this job, occupy this earth, and are thousands times more populated than us. Now that we know what microbes are and what they do, we can learn about the field that studies them. According to the Microbiology Society, the definition of microbiology is the study of all living things, invisible to the naked eye. So this includes unicellular organisms. The organisms include bacteria, archaeobacteria, viruses, protozoa, algae, and even fungi, which all have different functions. Without microbiologists to determine these functions and put them to use that benefit us, we wouldn't have things like antibiotics, vaccines, and certain foods. But how did we get the study of microbiology? We'll take a look at its history and the prominent scientists that helped to revolutionize this field. As you can see here, there is a timeline that helps to kind of spread out the discoveries. In the history of microbiology on Uli text, existence of microbes weren't confirmed until the 17th century. You can't really confirm that without a microscope. So in 1675, Antony van Leeuwenhoek used his own microscope to help confirm the existence of microbes. Louis Pasteur would take this a step further by disproving the theory of spontaneous generation. He proved this by taking a pot of pre-sterilized broth and confirming that no living microbes lived in the broth until they were exposed to outside contamination. In 1876, Robert Koch determined that microbes can cause diseases. Now we have Koch's postulates, which are criteria for establishing a causal link between a microbe and a disease. We've learned about microbes, the study of microbes, and the history of microbes. Now we can learn about the versatility and applications of these. In the environment, you can consider microbes to be tiny little janitors. Ariel in the Scope and Applications of Microbiology states that that microorganisms help recycle organic and inorganic material. Our big example of that is the fungi, which are natural decomposers, which help to break down dead matter, bring it back into the environment for other organisms to use. They can also be used to help clean the environment. In Chernobyl, fungi actually eat radiation, which helps to gradually make the environment a little bit safer for the organisms that already live there. In the food industry, some food can only be made with the help of a microbial agent. Some examples of these are yogurt, cheese, alcohol, and bread. This is all thanks to a fermenting agent. Usually it's yeast. For example, in wine, in order to create that, you take grapes, crush them up, and in the wine, you let it ferment. The yeast basically breaks down the sugars in the grapes to make the alcohol content. In medicine and immunology, we have the creation of vaccines, medication, and antibiotics, all thanks to microbiology. One of our biggest examples of this is the creation of penicillin, which helps to combat bacterial infections. But one of the biggest contributions in the medical field with microbiologists is disease tracking. The biggest organizations that are in charge of this are the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization. Basically, their job is to track down a disease and its spread and to make sure it doesn't get worse than it already did. The best example that we have of that is the spread of the COVID-19 virus, or the coronavirus. Basically, what we're seeing in real time is how these organizations are reacting to the spread of the virus, how fast it goes, and how we can prevent or treat the virus. Microbiology plays in many essential roles in our society. Without it, we'd get a lot sicker a lot easier, and we'd probably have a lot more pandemics, and we wouldn't have cheese or bread or wine. We looked at microbes, the study of microbiology, its history, and its applications. Where before you may not have had the knowledge and information to understand the benefits of microbiology and its transition into modern genetic modification of these microbes, you now have the tools to combat misinformation and support the research in microbiology. So the next time you spread cheese on your bread or you enjoy that glass of wine, make sure to say a quick thank you to the microbes and microbiologists that helped make it possible. Thank you.